I'm gonna show you how to make $1 million a year teaching martial arts if you're broke. Hey guys, my name is Jennifer Waters. I'm the Sales and Systems Sensei. I help martial arts school owners profitably scale their business to 6 and 7 figures. Today, I wanna dive into the 3 ways that you can make $1 million a year teaching martial arts if you're broke. You got no money. You can't even get a credit card. You don't have any way to spend money to make money. If that's you, this video is for you. Let's dive in. I had a martial arts school. My dad actually started it. And from the time I was a small child all the way until I was 18 years old, that school was barely getting by. You know, we had part-time school. Sometimes we tried to transition to full-time, didn't work out so well. $5,000 a month was like our highest amount that we'd ever been able to generate. And it's because we didn't have the systems in place to scale. So at 18 years old, I decided with my family that I'm gonna go all in. I decided to skip the full ride to college that I had and go all into business, travel the country, got business mentors, brought it back, installed it into the martial arts school. And within 4 years, we'd taken the school from $5,000 a month to over $1 million a year of revenue. And the way we did it is we did it with zero money. Yes, we didn't have money. You see, the martial arts school was generating enough to pay its bills. Rent, water, utilities, no money back in our pockets. Matter of fact, most of the time, there was more a month than money. And so what that meant was we were trying to scrounge to find the money to pay rent and to pay bills. And I remember so many times my mom being on the phone and talking with a landlord and saying, hey, we need a little bit more time to pay the rent. It was crazy. At the same time, we had students that were coming in that were promising us that they were gonna pay their monthly tuition, and then the tuition didn't show up, and then on the other side, we had bills to pay. So if you've ever felt that pain before, here is how we did it, how we took the school from basically nothing to $1 million a year in revenue, and how you could do the exact same thing inside of your school with little to no money at all. So the first thing that I did, and the first thing that I would recommend that anybody else does, is hit the streets. Like literally, you have to be outside the walls of your martial arts school. So this is the very first thing that you're gonna wanna do. And you might be thinking, okay, Jen, I'm in my car. Where do I go? What do I do? Who do I talk to? And what the heck am I supposed to say? These are all really, really great questions. And one of the key things that we actually teach our clients inside of our program is we actually teach them all the ins and outs of the exact scripting and framework that took me years to perfect when it comes to talking to other businesses or even talking to people on the street about martial arts classes. You might be thinking, I don't wanna go talk to people on the streets. Okay, if you don't wanna go talk to people on the streets, you don't wanna actually get them inside of your school, then you gotta actually put some money into it, which we can talk about some other things that you can do. But I'm telling you, literally, the fastest way that we got new martial arts students inside of our martial arts school was going out into the community and hitting events and hitting, not just doing demos, but actually being intentional about talking to people and about getting a name, a phone number, and then inviting them to come back for an introductory lesson. One by one, little by little, we started working our way out of the hole that we were in to then be able to take a little bit of money and put it towards advertising. But that's gotta be your number one goal. If you're sitting inside your martial arts school and you're just waiting for people to show up, I'm telling you, they're not going to show. You have to actually go out and you have to get them. And for so many people, they want an easier answer. They wanna go, okay, well, why can't I just post some pictures on Facebook and Instagram? It's great. You gotta think about the psychology that's behind someone that's actually looking at or potentially gonna do martial arts. Number one, they have to be aware their problem that they have, their child's lack of focus, maybe their lack of fitness, maybe their lack of self-control, or their child's lack of confidence and focus and discipline, all those things. They have to be aware that your martial arts school can actually solve that. Then on top of that, not only do they have to be aware of the problem, they have to be aware of the product, meaning you. They have to know that your school is the place to go. Those two things combined is not going to happen just because you post a picture or you post a video on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. Matter of fact, those social media platforms, that video is going to be on in a day. You have a 24-hour window, and out of that 24 hours, you have a very limited amount of people who are going to see it organically. So what I'm saying is your chances of someone seeing that picture or that video and coming in are very slim to you going out and actually talking to somebody that's passing by on the street and having a physical conversation with them and saying, hey, have you ever thought about martial arts classes? We're hosting XYZ. And then you go ahead and you start talking to them about coming into your martial arts school. Now, for some of you, that's really hardcore and you're like, I don't want to go VIP people, which I'm not saying you have to go out and you have to do this at a place that you're not welcome. I'm just saying go look for community events, go look for places or businesses that you can partner with, all of which we teach you inside of our program how to do and how to do it in a way that doesn't make you feel like somebody who's just hustling from door to door. At the same time, I am saying you gotta put a little bit of time and energy and effort, because here's the thing. If you don't got money, you got time. And if you don't have time, you probably have some money coming in the door. So that's the very first way. The second thing that you have to do is this. You gotta have a goal and you have to crush it every day. You see, when I was going out and I was looking for community events, or I was going and I was talking to businesses to partner with them so that they would actually recommend us and bring us new students, I had a goal. Every single day that I went outside and I went to go do marketing, I would tell myself how many businesses that I was going to talk to that day. And not only how many businesses I was going to talk to that day, but how many of them were going to say yes. And then when I had an event or something that I could go to, I had a goal of how many leads that I was actually going to generate from that event. And so that meant I had to talk to a certain amount of people for them to say yes. So I knew how many people I needed to talk to. I knew how many businesses that I needed to go out and talk to. Here's the thing. The reason why people don't do this is because they think it's like woo-woo, or they think it's some type of mindset trick. And to a certain extent, it is a mindset trick, but think about it as more of a mindset hack. You see, if I make a public statement of commitment, if I say to my family, hey, as of this week, from now until 6 weeks from now, I'm not gonna eat any bread at all. I'm not gonna eat any pasta. I'm doing only keto. And I'm gonna do that for 6 weeks, and I invite you to hold me accountable. If I were to tell my family that every time, especially if you have kids, and I go to pick up a piece of bread or pasta or whatever, they're gonna be like, oh mom, you said you weren't gonna do that, right? They're gonna point it out, my son would. So you have to realize that if you make that statement, other people are gonna point it out, especially the ones that care about you. But here's the thing, when you get to a level of discipline where you can make that statement to yourself and you can hold yourself accountable, everything else changes. And most of you are martial artists that are watching this. You should have had a level of discipline on your own to reach the rank and the knowledge that you have. Apply that same level of discipline to what your goals are in the real world, in business. So if you were in martial arts and you said, I'm gonna dedicate an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. I know some of you right now that train all day long, and you have a goal in mind of what you wanna achieve. You wanna get better at martial arts, you wanna pursue that knowledge. Well, you've gotta do the exact same thing in your business. So you gotta set a goal. It's gotta be something that's tangible. It's gotta be something that you can accomplish, but at the same time, you can't quit just because you're tired. You can't quit just because it doesn't feel like you're making progress. The minute that you do that, I promise you, you won't make progress. The minute that you go out and you said, you know what, today, my goal is in the next 3 hours, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna talk to 10 businesses. If you can do that, and you go and you actually talk to 10 businesses, and you get even half of them to say yes, you walk away with 5 businesses that are sending you customers. How amazing is that? The third thing that's gonna take you to $1 million a year in revenue that I found out the hard way in the beginning, but then once I changed and I just made this simple little change, the money started flowing in like crazy. And that allowed us to finally start changing our life, finally start letting us accomplish the things that we needed to financially so we could actually be more free to teach our passion and not have the stress of the business all on top of us. And that, my friends, was learning how to sell. And you might be thinking, okay, learning how to sell like the Wolf of Wall Street and being very adamant and pushy or having that used car salesman feeling seems like something I am not gonna do. And I'm not telling you to do that. Actually, something that I tell our clients all the time is you have to have what's called conversational selling. You have to be willing to use a conversation to sell. And when I say use a conversation, I mean be genuine. Have a real conversation with someone. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people just want to have topical, hey, how you doing? Here's the price sheet. Here's the class schedule. What do you think? But if you want to build a relationship with someone that they're going to trust you, especially with their child or with their own body for martial arts related training, you need to have a genuine conversation and you need to have genuine trust that's built, because from that trust, you will have a transaction that occurs. And that's really all that money is. It's a transaction of trust. That person is voting with their dollars. They're saying, you know what? I trust you. Here's my money. And I trust you to accomplish what you said that you were going to accomplish with me. If you can do that, if you can get that hack and you can get that ball rolling, now, as soon as those leads come in out of those businesses that you talked with, out of getting out on the streets, it literally has cost you no money at all, just intentionality. And once you have that intentionality and you start going through that conversational selling, getting really good at it, that's when you can go from very low percentage to a higher percentage of converting. Now, if you're sitting there, you're already going, I already do that. I'm converting 90% of the people that are coming in the door. You probably aren't charging enough. You see, I can convert 100% of people that come in the door if I was only charging a few dollars. But the reality is that in order for me to provide a premium service, in order for me to pay my team well, in order for me to have pristine facilities, I need to be able to charge a certain amount of money that is going to then in turn be able to provide for the services that I'm promising. You see, it's a self-fulfilling circle, right? I promise this, you pay it, it allows us to then accomplish all the things that we said we were gonna do. So if you're converting 90% of people, I guarantee you, you're not charging enough. And I also guarantee you that you'll never be able to provide the pristine level of service that you actually desire, because that takes money to bring in that type of talent, and that takes money to be able to have the type of facilities that you want to be able to have. So guys, if you're finding all of this information valuable, I invite you right now, hit that subscribe button. We've also got a great resource for you. If you're not inside of our Facebook group, we have a 7-Figure Dojo Secrets for Martial Arts School Owners Facebook group. It's in the comments, in the description. You're gonna want to go ahead and get inside that group, because we do live training every week, especially on the things that we talked about: conversational selling, going out and getting in touch with local businesses, and getting out in the community. All those things, we give you how-to, we give you resources, and it's absolutely an amazing community. So make sure you check that out. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Until next time, keep being awesome.